And it looks like we are live. Good
Hooray!
evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Game Mechanics, and tonight on the mics we have with us Jason and Genevieve 7.
Hello!
And I'm the Bear. So, tonight we're just pulling topic just straight out of our ass. We're going to go with games we have played recently. With that, Jason, why don't you lead us off?
Just a couple of days ago, started playing Uncharted Waters, Second Age. Apparently it's a sequel to an old SNES game that I've never heard of. It's available on Steam. I could not get the Steam client to play. It would install, but it just wouldn't play. I kept shutting down, so I uninstalled it and went and reinstalled it from the actual company website. And it's working fine now. It's a free-to-play, open-world sandbox MMORPG made by Koei. It's set back in the age of sail, like 1600s. There's a lot to it. I'm honestly not a very good person to talk about all the different systems that they have in the game. I've only been playing for like 3 days, and I don't understand a whole lot of it yet. But I absolutely love it so far. You have 3 general classes. Adventurer, which is based mostly around exploration and discovery. You have Trader, pretty self-explanatory. It's merchant adventure kind of thing. And then you have Mariner, which is like a soldier. It's combat-oriented. It is a sandbox. It's open world. I love it. You can just go out and do your own thing. You join a guild fairly early on, based on whichever class you pick. You can switch between classes, doing things related to a certain class. Whether you actually have a job in that class or not will give you experience in that class. So even though I'm an adventurer, when I get into combat, I gain combat experience, and my combat level goes up. But there's just all sorts of things to do, from hunting down pirates or becoming one yourself. There's no reason you can attack other players in certain areas called hostile waters. You can be a pirate or a privateer working for your home country or whatever. You can explore, unexplored areas, find treasures and ancient artifacts and things. Buy cargo and goods from one area, sell it another at a profit. The guilds will have different quests you can do based around those kind of jobs you have, discovery and trading and combat and whatnot. It's a really great game with a lot of depth, and I've only begun to scratch the surface. It also has a really friendly community, which you don't see a whole lot in MMOs. At least none of the ones I've played have had quite such polite people. Very willing to help new players out. It's just been a lot of fun. There's a lot to it. I look forward to learning more about the game and getting to know the different mechanics that they have that I haven't really scratched on yet, like investment and some of the treasure hunting ones.
Now, you were saying, Jason, that beyond the helpful community being a good in of itself, you were saying that there apparently is a very good reason, or there's an extra reason to be grateful for a very helpful community.
Cons. No game is perfect because Star Citizen isn't out yet. The downside of this game is it has absolutely the worst tutorial I have ever seen in any game, MMO, single player, I don't care. This one is horrific. It doesn't even teach you. It goes over things it doesn't need to go over. And it doesn't teach you things that it should. For instance, there's this whole class on the inventory screen. If you have ever played a freaking game, especially an MMO or any kind of RPG, you can probably figure out the damn inventory. They have this whole class on it. Meanwhile, when they get to the ship combat part, They tell you to board your ship and set sail, and you'll go fire at this practice dummy ship or whatever. They never tell you how to do that. I'm running around the harbor trying to figure out how to board my ship. I'm looking out at the harbor, it's like, is there a ship out there labeled mine that I got to click on? No. I'm going through the UI and the menu. Where's the set sail button? I finally figured out, in case any of you decide to play, which it is a great game. Please don't let the terrible tutorial dissuade you. To set sail, you have to go up to the port official, the little NPC standing there. Click on him, and there will be an option to board ship.
Oh,
You'll
man.
then go to another screen where you're on your ship, docked at the harbor. From there, you can hire new crew members. You do have a crew. You have to keep your crew fed and all. You can. From there, you also buy supplies, food and water for the crew. And then you push another button that says set sail, and you'll set sail. But it took me several minutes. It didn't take me too long. It was like 2 or 3 minutes. But it's longer than it should have. They should have had someone say, talk to the port official, click set sail.
Yeah, that's
Instead
pretty
of just
funny.
saying, yeah. It is a horrific tutorial. You can skip it. Skip it. And it's just grueling. There's, you can go to a port city. There's all sorts of NPCs you can talk to with different functions and stuff. They're not, immediately apparent. Like the different kind of merchants. There's one who, you buy stuff for your ship. New cannons, new sails. He's kind of obvious. It's a shipwright. But the other two, actually there's more than two, but the other two main ones aren't that obvious. One's a shopkeeper, one's a merchant. The shopkeeper, you buy gear for yourself. That's where you buy like clothing, armor, weapon, your personal weapons, swords and whatnot. And then the other one, the merchant, is where you would buy like bulk trading goods that you're going to take somewhere else and sell, or where you would sell it once you got there. You want to. That's who you talk to when you want to buy like 100 pounds of 100 tons of sardines to go sell somewhere, or what have you. That's not immediately apparent. I can see having that in a class, but the thing was, each individual NPC was its own class. So you're in the school, you go to the instructor who says, are you ready for your next lesson? Yes. Okay, go see instructor so-and-so, he's over by the merchant. So you go out of the school, loading screen, you go over to the merchant, you talk to the instructor who tells you what the merchant does, blah, blah, blah. Okay, lesson over. Meet me back at the school. And you have to go back to the school, go back in through the loading screen, go back over to the instructor. Hey, I talked to the guy about the merchant. Okay, here's your experience, here's some money. Go talk to the instructor again over by the shopkeeper. They're fucking standing right next to each other. And you have to do that for damn near every NPC in that town to figure out what they do. I understand they probably do need to go over that, but could you have just done it in one lesson? Like, okay, here's what the shopkeeper does. Meet me at the tavern. We'll talk about what you can do at the tavern. Buy drinks for your men to make them happier, and buy food for yourself to increase your stamina. And so forth. And they just made it way more grueling than it needed to be. But that's just the basic tutorial. After that, you still have the school. You have several different courses you'll go through. They have courses about each major class. Adventurer, mariner, and trader. And you have like beginning classes and then intermediate classes and advanced classes, and they're actually really well done. They were fun. The lessons were fun. They teach you about the more subtle, the more in-depth mechanics and stuff about each class.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So
Good to hear it's not all really terrible.
No, it's not. Just the basic tutorial. The very, very basic beginning tutorial is absolute garbage. The rest
Just
of it,
the one that you probably actually need.
right? The more in-depth classes about how your job works are a lot better. They're actually entertaining. It's good information.
Nice.
It's presented well for the most part. You'll have the basic class will be in whatever your starting city is. The intermediate classes will be in some other city in the general area, the general region. For me, I play in my character's English, so my beginner classes were in London. Intermediate classes were in I can't remember the name of the city. It's right next to Amsterdam. I had to go to Holland.
Okay.
The advanced classes are in Pisa, Italy,
Oh, wow.
which is where I am now.
Nice.
But it is a really great game. I'm very much enjoying it. All sorts of sort of random things are going to happen with your crew. Random sort of NPC pirate attacks and stuff to keep you entertained while you're out exploring.
Ooh.
You don't have to stand and fight if you don't want to. You can run. You can switch between jobs to pick up different skills. It's a good idea to pick up the basic skills from all three classes. And then there are certain skills in each class that are pretty useful for everybody. It's a good idea to try to pick those up. Right now my actual job is excavator, which is an adventurer who specializes in digging up old artifacts and stuff, rare antiques and things like that. But I have some of the basic trader skills and some of the basic combat skills just to make things a little easier on me. Also with different countries, it's set on Earth, 1600s. Different countries, they do speak different languages. If you go somewhere where your character does not speak the language, you won't really be able to do much of anything. You can't speak to the merchants or anything. You'll just get a little pop-up bubble that says you cannot make yourself understood.
Nice.
You
That's
can
a
learn.
really interesting little thing there.
Yeah, I love it. You'll start off speaking multiple languages. I think, depending on what country you pick. English players start with English, French, and Dutch, I think. And I can't remember if I started off with German or if I bought it later. Currently, my character speaks English, German, Dutch, French, Spanish, and Italian. I was just about to pick up Arabic.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds really fun.
It is. It is lots and lots of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. All the different ships and stuff you can get. You start off in a little, I think it's called a barca. It's basically a fishing boat. You have a 5-man crew. Completing each course for your school will give you a more advanced ship that is a lot better than what you could just buy from the shipyard. Up until the last one you get is, of course, after you finish the advanced classes, which I'm almost finished. I've almost finished the advanced adventurer class. I have to do like a couple of sort of random mission things, and then after that I can take my finals, and then I get the last free ship.
Have fun. I may have to check it out.
Either y'all do check it out.
So, how much is the game? Is it free to play or is it? Okay.
Free to play.
And
I haven't
you
even.
said it's been around for a couple of years already. You said, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really looked to see when it came out. I've heard people in chat say, I just came back. I haven't played in like 2 years.
Oh wow.
So
it's been around for a while, anyways.
It's been out for a few years, just not that well known, I guess. It did just come to Steam. And if you do get it through Steam, they have some kind of beginner's pack you can get with all sorts of cool stuff. I couldn't get it to work on Steam. I had to delete it and make a new account through the website, or through the company's website. So if you do have any trouble, just try that. Just uninstall the Steam version and go to their website, which I did post the link. That link that I posted on the Game Mechanics Facebook page, that is the actual website where you can download the game directly from the company.
Okay.
But yeah, it's free to play. Just give it a try. Give it a shot. It's not for everybody. It is a very long-term. It's slow. It's not a real fast-paced game. It's about traveling long distances. Now, obviously, the distance has been shrunk. Speed's been increased. Time is, I think, 1 minute equals roughly 1 day.
Okay.
But still, I just sailed from London to all the way to Pisa, and it took for frickin' ever. That's a long trip, all the way down France, all the way around Spain and Portugal, and then back around Spain and France.
Oh man.
It was a long trip. They do have some what I thought was instant travel, but apparently is not.
Oh no.
Called a liner, which is like a passenger liner, but they work on schedules. So I actually originally I'd originally taken a liner from London to Pisa, and I had to wait. I had boarded the ship, and they're like, the ship doesn't leave for 10 minutes, and it's a 15-minute trip. So I had to sit there and wait 10 minutes, and then the boat left, and it took 15 minutes to get there.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's honestly better it's usually better to just sail your damn self. Rather than that's the liner's the kind of thing you do. You want to go somewhere while you're gonna go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself on the liner, go grocery shopping or something.
Nice.
Dinner. But and then I ended up deciding to go back to London for something I can't remember what now.
Okay.
I went back and did some other stuff, and then came back, sailed my own ass back to Pisa.
What did you say the game was called again?
It is Uncharted Waters: Second Age. It's made by Koei. It's a very anime style art style.
Okay.
It's a very Japanese anime style take on Western Europe.
Sounds good though. I mean, you've got lots of exploration, lots of options within the game. So if you're not into combat or whatever, you can just explore and have a bunch of stuff to do there. No asshats. To me, that's just like a massive selling feature right there.
Yeah, at least none that I've run into yet. Like I said, it depends on your definition of asshat. The game does allow PC on PC piracy. But only in certain areas called hostile waters. So if you go into hostile waters, you can be attacked by other players. Now, there are some mechanics in place to kind of mitigate that. I think you can only be attacked once per 24 hours by a player pirate. So if a player pirate attacks you, even if you beat them, for 24 hours, you can't be attacked by another player.
Oh, nice. So you're not totally feeling like you're ganged up on, like you.
Right, you're not going to be completely.
You took a wrong turn, and you took a wrong turn, and then suddenly you just have people just beating you over the head and taking your stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, say, EVE Online, where you come out of a dock and there's just a bunch of pirates there waiting for you to gang up on you, kill you, and take your stuff, and then as soon as you on dock again, they followed you.
Oh, jeez.
You're just waiting to do it again. Because they can. It's 24 hours before you can be attacked again.
Nice.
I really wish I knew more about the mechanic. I've only been playing for like 3 days. It's a very deep game with lots of parts. There's historical events, different sort of fleet battles and stuff that happen historically will happen that players can participate in. There's the world clock. I tried to read up on that, and I'm still not sure what the fuck I just read. But it's set between. It starts with the 1500s. Game goes into the 1700s, and from what I gather, player action. Every 30 days or so, the clock changes what century you're in.
Huh.
But it's somehow determined by player actions. I don't really know exactly how it works, but all the player base's actions somehow determine whether the clock will tick back a century or forward a century.
Oh, interesting. I was going to ask if they're using like historical things. If you've had any run-ins with the East India Trading Company.
I haven't personally, but yeah, there are a lot of historical events. The latest one I was looking at, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to read the world clock, so I'm not sure what frickin' century I'm in. That's I think my biggest complaint about the game is that there's no date. There's nowhere that says a date. I kind of want to, in my head, I've got this sort of running captain's log thing going, and I can't give the date, I want to say I'm currently in the 1600s, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But there was a major event about, there was a battle between Spain and England over some colony somewhere. I can't remember. I haven't really, just starting out, I haven't tried to get into any of the big world events. But they are out there, big world events based on historical things that actually happened in history. Although certain things are kind of funny because this is a Japanese game talking about Western European history. I don't think the translation is always that great. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not. I just saw this earlier today. I was in Venice, and there was you have manners. You'll have like aristocrats and stuff that adventurers will talk to a lot because they they'll buy the information that you discover. They back in the day, wealthy aristocrats would sponsor sort of adventurers and stuff to go explore and discover new lands and new animals and stuff, and they'd pay him to do that. So the equivalent of the game is the random things you discover you sell to these aristocrats in these manners. And so every time I go to one of the cities, I look and see who the who the local aristocrats are, what they like to buy. And in Venice, there is one who is no shit, Shylock. For anyone who doesn't know, Shylock was the Jewish guy in Shakespeare's play The Merchant of Venice.
Oh, yeah, I thought that sounded familiar.
And for those of you who also might not be familiar, Shylock is also a racial slur for Jewish people.
Oops.
It would be the equivalent of having a castle or something in Africa called Nigger Town.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's terrible.
It's like, Jesus Christ. This is what happens when you translate directly from the jet. Why?
Oh,
why, Japan?
Yeah.
I'm assuming they just knew Merchant of Venice, there was a guy called Shylock, so in Venice there's a house for a nobleman named Shylock.
Oh, my.
But his name might as well be Kike.
Oh, jeez.
It's not as commonly used a racial slur now as it was once.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially because like,
what'd you say?
With Shylock, I mean, where Shylock is basically the guy that runs around collecting the angel had its roots in Jewish origins, but just at least by that point, in popular history, it just became like, the guy who collects the payment for the mob.
Hey, Bear, you were kind of cutting in and out there.
Oh, whoops.
I think I only got bits and pieces of that.
Okay. Basically, just that Shylock, at least the term specifically, seems to have softened up a bit, where you have films like Get Shorty, where a Shylock is basically somebody, I guess, working for a mob who collects an interest payment on the mob's behalf. Though again, that could have pretty clear and direct slur references. So.
Okay. But anyway, very big game, very deep game. Not for everybody. Okay. Slow paced. But yeah, I like that. I like to take my time. It's free to play though. Download it, try it out. Don't like it, uninstall.
Okay.
I love it.
Awesome. Okay. So Genevieve, what have you been playing lately?
Oh my goodness. So my big one right now is Banished. I got it about 3 weeks ago. I think it was released around the beginning of the year. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. It's so you have a little group of people, and they've been banished from wherever they were, and you have to kind of help plan out their city and help them survive, help them not starve and not freeze to death in the wintertime. So it's a city builder. I love that it's hard. There are certain, especially when you're just starting the game, you really have to be careful about what you start to build and where, because you set the plans for the buildings, but then your little people will come and they'll build them, and they'll mostly build in the order that you plotted things out. But if you went and you plotted out a whole bunch of things and you're like, oh shit, I really need them to do this other thing first. Well, no, now they're building. They're busy. But they're super cute. They feel like they're intelligent enough that you don't have to micromanage what they're doing. You can focus on plotting things out and finding resources and such. But It's a lot of fun. I keep describing it as it's like the Oregon Trail, but at the end of the trail, except it feels like a little bit early, like that first settlement of pilgrims where they starved and froze in the wintertime. But it's pretty delicate balance, even at later stages. You have to keep enough food coming in for your population, and you have to keep your population growing. There are certain instances where they won't automatically have babies and repopulate if you get too many old people in town, or if you don't move the young couples out into new houses. If they're living with their parents, they won't reproduce. But but yeah, super lots of fun. And then another game that I've been playing is Tropico 3, which is a little bit older. Got it for free on the Humble Bundle store. They did a sale recently. They're like, hey, we're going to give out a free game a week. And I'm like, okay, it's free. I just recently popped it up and started playing it. Very similar city building type stuff, except very different time period. It's you're the dictator of a tropical island, and the time period varies between about the 1950s and the 1980s. And it's different goals that you can get. It's to build up the population and their happiness, or to build up the industry on the island, or to build up tourism. But basically, you just start with a lot of very depressed people, and you're trying to build up their economy and their quality of life. And I'm getting very used to being called El Presidente. I'm gonna start insisting on this from my friends. That just call me El Presidente. But yeah, that one's a super lot of fun. Pretty difficult also. I find that I like city builders a lot. I've been very engaged in them. I'll sit down to play. I'm just going to play a little bit, and then hours have gone by, and I don't know what happened. Oh no, we lost Bear.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Are we still live?
I have the little live thing in my corner. That's odd.
Isn't it?
Well,
I've had the same addictive thing with Uncharted. I'll sit down to play. I'm just gonna play for an hour or so, and the next thing I know, the sun's up.
Oh God.
You know, the family's awake, wanting breakfast or whatever, and all I've managed, and I've done absolutely nothing.
Nice. No sleep.
Yeah, well, I work nights, so.
Oh, that's right.
This is actually kind of the beginning of my day.
Nice.
Even on my days off, I just go ahead and I don't feel like flipping around my sleep schedule, so I just stay up all night.
Oh God, right? That's too hard. How fun! But another game that yours was reminding me of, I got Pixel Piracy. I was playing for a little while ago. It just released in July, and it had been early access before then for about a year. But they did the project and they finished it up pretty fast. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh, you have your little pirates, and they're just little pixelated, and you start with a really small boat, and you can go to either there are towns and there are islands, and there are other pirates, ship encounters. And you go and you fight other pirates, or you loot islands, and it's all really simple, and you have to keep food for your pirates, and you upgrade your ship, you plunder the enemy ships. Yeah, to teach your pirates where to poop. They'll poop on the deck.
Grown men should know how to poop.
Teach them how to clean it up. Oh my goodness.
Uncharted, you do not have to teach your crew where to poop.
Oh, that's too bad, because I thought that was one of the funniest parts of the game.
Have you ever played Sea Dogs?
No.
That was a great game.
Nice.
A lot like... Well, maybe not. It was... it's an older game. It was a single-player game where you played as a privateer in a sort of made-up version of the Caribbean. They just made up their own islands and all, but it was supposed to be the Caribbean. And you had the different colonies from the different major colonial powers, and you bought it. It was a sandbox, though. You could follow there was kind of a main story, but you could completely freaking ignore it. You could do missions with the different territorial governors. You could, get letters of marque to be a privateer for their country. You could just be an outright pirate. You had to manage your crew. The graphics, at the time were okay, but even the ship models even still actually look pretty good. The ship models were great. All the different types of ships you had. And you could actually my one other complaint about Uncharted is you can't walk around on your ship.
Mm.
But in Sea Dogs you could. You could do a third-person view over your ship as you steered it, controlled it, or you could actually be your third-person view of your character walking along the top deck of your ship.
Oh, fun.
And it was great. I really wish they did implement that in Uncharted. I'd love to walk around on my little my cruiser sloop, it's called.
Nice. Oh, yeah, sloop. I need to learn all the different names of boats. I come across them every once in a while in reading fantasy-type books.
Yeah, Sea Dogs use the actual ship types. Uncharted kind of makes some of them up.
Oh, nice.
The general ship types are historically accurate, but they'll add different kind. You have the ones that'll emphasize each class. Like combat ships will be, they'll be tougher and they'll have more room for more guns, but they'll be a little slower. The trade version will have a bigger cargo hold, and the adventurer version will be faster and more maneuverable.
Nice.
So instead of just a sloop, you have 3 different kinds of sloop. You have the cruising sloop, which is the adventurer one, the trade sloop, duh, and the gun sloop or the war sloop or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I want to start playing Uncharted. Start seeing what the trader thing is.
Do and let me know when you do, so I can make sure I'm on and I can help you out.
Oh, I will. And I like trader games also. Mainly, I think I just like watching numbers.
Oh, you'd have loved